Hi there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. I hope that you can hear me. I'm kind of messing up my camera right now. Okay, there we go. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. This week's discussion topics, as always, include anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. And so that pretty much covers it all. So tell me what you think today, because I want to know. All right. If you're watching, please don't be shy. Just come on, and usually pretty reasonable and nice. So don't be shy. This show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their mind and to also serve as an educational tool for white people to learn the truth about systemic racism in America. So before we get started, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Angry Soccer Mom, probably more disappointed in my fellow humans than angry, although I do get angry sometimes. If you like the show or want to learn anything about racism in America, I have a gazillion videos that you can check out on my YouTube channel. Please consider subscribing and ring the bell if you want to know when I do new videos, because I've got a ton coming out. So let me see. I have a couple of announcements. I wanted to thank everybody for sending me so many amazing, articles and videos and things like that. It really helps me a lot because I can't keep up with this. It's like a 1 hour turnover with the news. Ghost Killa, welcome. Welcome. I'm happy to have you here. And I have some pretty interesting topics to talk about. And so jump right in. All right. I'm really psyched to hear. Nathan, hi. Oh my gosh, I'm very, very happy to have you. I'm just going to rush through the boring part. If you want to get a hold of me privately and you can't, this is my private Facebook page, I guess, the one that I didn't get kicked off of, kind of long story. You know what? Ghost Killa, I didn't do a show last week, so I wasn't there either. But if you have Ronald, yay! I'm happy to have you. Oh, sweet. Well, Ronald, I was reading some of your posts that you put up, and you're going to have a lot to say about tonight, I bet. So I'm really psyched you're here. If you ever have anything you think I should post, send it my way. I will do my best. It's hard to keep up, really hard to keep up. I mean, as I'm sure you're well aware of. After I do a little rant, if you want to call in, and I'm going to limit it to 5 minutes per person because I've gotten a couple complaints. Because I would just sit there and listen, and then people are like, excuse me. So the number, I'm going to jot this down, is 347 what is the number? 347-732-5284. And one of my announcements that I'm really excited about, I've never read about abolitionists. I'll just be honest, I haven't. I've focused on understanding Black, Brown, Indigenous, and other people of color and people who are in numerical minority groups. And I really have never given much, thought to the people who, and I know there's always been abolitionists. There's one in particular that kind of caught my eye. So I found a free copy of this video of a guy who wrote a book about John Brown. Now, he was considered in his day radical, and he would have been considered in our day radical. When that's a whole nother story, because the term radical and far left is, I think it only applies to the United States. Everyone else, they just call that being human. Don't shoot me, but I'm just saying. So I'm going to have a showing of the John Brown, the author who wrote the book, on Friday at 9. And I'll send out invitations for people who are interested. It's only an hour, but the guy was really good. I mean, I was like the author. I mean, we're talking details. So it was really cool. Hey, Dave. Yeah, happy to have you. So I'm going to do the showing at 9 on this coming Friday. So I hope you can come. And it's basically the guy talks and we discuss if we want, online. So another thing is I have a friend who's a DACA recipient, which is, for people who don't know, it's Deferred Action of Childhood Arrivals. And he is probably going to do a video and explain. I've been really wanting him to do a video because I've talked to him throughout the year. And I don't know if everyone's completely aware of the horrific things that our nation has done to these people. What? Uh-oh. I don't even know what that is, Nathan. Do I want to know? Okay, go ahead and explain. I want to know. Maybe you should call in and explain. I don't know what that is. It doesn't sound good. Does that mean Trump's having an affair? Or I won't even go there. I don't know. Another affair. Okay, I'm just kidding. So anyway, I'm going to probably do a video with him. And then a girlfriend of mine, a woman friend, is going to do a video on some abuse that she endured by police. And I have one more video coming out, and then I promise I'll get to tonight's stuff. I got the opportunity to stop by Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they have a tent city. And we're not really welcome in the tent city. They don't want outsiders to be in it. So it was kind of touchy because I kind of was on the edge of like, I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I really wanted to get the word out. So I did a series of about 4 interviews that I'm going to put all together. They are not particularly on Black folks, but they are definitely in the subset. They're about people who have been rendered homeless. And I really, 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 I have a couple of friends who are homeless, and there is absolutely no reason in this nation that anyone should not have a home and be cared for. We're in a wealthy nation. We just don't want to spend the money on people. And it's honestly, it's a cultural problem. I don't know. Don't get me started. All right, let me get going. Tonight I have 3 topics that are set, and anything you want to talk about is fair game. It has to do with pretty much the corruption, anti-racism, bigotry, inequality, and that's everything. So my topics tonight are kind of bizarre. One is Trump's re-election strategy, which basically is like beating up people into submission, it would seem, although I just read something about him pulling out of, yes, Dave, it was separate from my other trip to DC. Yeah. So I've been the traveling woman. Thanks for asking. Gary, hello. Just finished listening to my friend Capitol Press Room. Oh, your friend on Capitol, send it my way. If anything good, Gary, I'll definitely take from you. You're amazing. That's cool. I don't know that. Is that like a podcast or something? You can let me know when you get a chance. Anyway, I have Trump's re-election strategy, which is basically beating people into submission, and I'll go way more into it. Attorney Barr, not good. He testified in front of the House Judiciary Committee, and it was not pretty. It was almost surreal, to be honest with me. It was almost surreal. And then I want to talk about school openings. But if you have anything you want to talk about, just jump right in. If you aren't sure about something, everyone online will correct you. So we always have everybody jumping right in and helping. And we need that. I mean, we're in an era of like fake news. And part of the problem with being in an era of fake news is this. And I don't know if I'm going to sum this up quite right, but when people don't know if their news is right or not, here's the thing. There are facts. There are real facts. And sure, people put spin on them, but for the most part, telling a story and being real about it isn't rocket freaking science. What happens when another person, outside party, to Trump or his clan members, which is what I call them, and I do not say that lightly, is when they cast doubt by saying the opposite on purpose. Basically, it's called lying, I believe that's the technical term. What it does is it does a strange psychological thing, and it basically makes people believe that the truth is somewhere in the middle. And that's a really dangerous place to be, because anyone can lie their ass off and make you question reality. So we got to be strong here, and don't let these people sway, it's not the people who are really adamant and who are, they get it. They're humane. They love all people, and they're not going to put up with this inhumanity that we are. It's not the people who are absolutely like off the freaking rocker, like KKK members. It's everyone in the middle who, they don't think they have an impact. It doesn't really bother them that much. And, they're going about their life. Those are the people who are destroying us. And I don't mean it meanly, but the people who, I'm sorry, I'll just say it more succinctly. There is no neutral. If you're neutral, you are on the side of the oppressor. And God knows this country needs to just step up to the freaking plate. I mean, really. Let me take a couple questions, and then I'll do the quote. Oh, let me see. Yeah, the quote of the week. All right. Somebody got in trouble here. Okay, Nathan, I'm afraid to even know what this says. Trump's latest expert also believes demons have. Oh, that's right. Oh my God, Nathan, you rock. Okay, I actually saw that when it first came out, and I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so I was like, all those people were paid. This is what I just said to somebody. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I wonder how much they're being paid. I didn't know anything about it. And yeah, they're all at the White House at the same time. It was just, the man is unfreaking believable. He's a con artist. He is the mob boss. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I don't know how much he paid them, but he kind of didn't check their backgrounds. Great point, Nathan. And one of them is like a little bit cuckoo. And I get the feeling, I mean, I'm sorry, science. It's science. I didn't know you could actually go against science, like not believe in science. Did anyone else know? I thought, like, who doesn't believe in science? But now I realize there are people who somehow, I didn't know that was possible. Okay. So here, let me go on. Thanks, Nathan. Yeah. I didn't even post it. I was like, it's ridiculous. I cannot go there. But yeah, that was a little terrifying. Things are going to be worse. I don't think they're going to get better. Not to be the soothsayer of doom, but just to be kind of real. Yeah, that was a scary thing. And I mean, come on, the man said to put bleach in your body. He's just, okay. So let me see. Gary, New York Public Radio Show, mostly political. My friend is a Democrat election commissioner for Onondaga County. Oh, that's so cool. You have serious connections. That's awesome. Dave, did you get any footage of Barr's testimony? Yes, I put 4 videos up today. A couple hours ago on what I did was for the Barr testimony, since a lot of people don't have time to sit and watch, like a bazillion hours, I just picked the things that I thought were really, really intriguing and interesting. And you gotta remember when you see them, I don't know anything about most of these people. Okay. I don't follow politics like that closely in the House of Representatives or the Senate. There's just too much going on. However, I picked 4 people that I thought kicked freaking ass. And basically, okay, I'll be arrogant. They said everything I would have wanted to say, but like 15 times better, of course. So I was like, so I posted 4 separate things. So you don't have to sort through it. Just take a look. Please share stuff that will help my YouTube channel a ton. If you like something, share it. I would appreciate it. One of them was Stephen Cohen. This I think I'm saying it right. Stephen Cohen. And my mouth just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yes. And then another one was Sheila Jackson. She was, just go look at them. These people were brutal. So I know a lot of us say that the Democrats and the Republicans are all the same. Well, obviously they're not all the same, or maybe, but I can't say that. But they're both really bad for Black folks. And I get that. And I am not here to tell anybody what to think. That would be, if you're a Black person or a brown person or an Indigenous person or any person of color, I am not here to teach you. If you're here, you're teaching me. I'm not arrogant enough. Well, I'm close, but no, I'm not arrogant enough to think that I know more about what it's like and how to solve systemic racism in America than the person living it. It's like, I'm sure I have my arrogant sides to me, but that's a little overboard. What I do is, like I said at the beginning, is I'm here to show white folks that just your average white person can learn to talk about racism and survive through it. And actually, the more you learn, if you're a white person watching this, the more you learn, you just, if you care about your fellow humans, it will intrigue you like you will not believe it. You just cannot believe the hidden whitewashed history. It's surreal. And so, yesterday or the day before, I put out a video on three things that were hidden history. So I hope you check that out too. And I will take more questions. And then the quote of the week is a little depressing, but it's still the quote of the week. It's not as rare as he'd like. It's not as rare as he'd like. Let me try to follow up with that. Of course, I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Tell me more, Nails and Glitter. I'm losing my mind about your comment. Gary, a friend thinks all viruses are caused by electricity, and most conspiracy. Easy to not believe science. Just find a fool that agrees with you and ignore reality. I get that, but it's like I kind of don't get that. My dad was a scientist, so I don't know. Comment above it. Thanks, Nails and Glitter. He actually said 7 deaths of Black men or women dying at oh my God, I didn't even read. I read Dave's first part and then just went on. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me go back. Cuckoo. He actually said that 7 deaths of Black women dying at the hands of white cops is rare. Bar said a lot of things. He's okay. I'm just going to say he's a lying sack of shit. Okay. Sorry. I'm not trying to be foul mouth, but I cannot think of any other words. I tried. He's unbelievable. He is absolutely co-conspirator and supporter of the Klan. With the things he said, he also said, as noted in one of the videos I posted, was that, thanks Nails and Glitter, by the way, was that he believes there is no systemic racism in the police organization. I'm like, you're a monster. What a liar. What a little liar. It's unbelievable. I've heard people lie before and twist the truth, but Trump and his Klan have outdone themselves. They just lie. They lie they say the opposite of everything. And I just can't get used to it. I can't get used to it because I can't normalize it. I'm glad I can't normalize it, but it's really stressful because I can't normalize it. I don't know about you guys, but every time they lie, I'm just blown away. I'm just a goody two shoes, I guess. But anyway, let me see. Dave, thank you for that. Yeah. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Yes. And thanks, Nails and Glitter. Yeah. He's out of touch with everything. That would be fine if fools only lived around fools. Okay. Ghost Killer, so much whitewashed history out there. Oh, is there ever? I've already done 4 videos on whitewash history, and I have about 6 more, and I do 3 or 4 things. I'm talking huge events that most white folks don't know about. If you don't know about our racial history, then you do not understand, by definition, what's happening right now with regards to social issues and racism. Because if you don't know our past, then you don't know how we got here. And so there's something in our nation that is kind of a pet peeve of mine. And I definitely am not all-knowing. In fact, I don't even consider myself a brilliant person in any way, shape, or form. All I consider myself is really passionate and caring about people. So I'm constantly saying, oh, I don't know. I don't know enough about it, which means I might know something, but I don't know enough to be an expert or to feel confident. But for some reason, most of my fellow humans don't share that. And so they will tell me things that only a doctor would be able to tell. And these people, no offense to them, but they're not doctors. They're not professionals. They're not doctors. They're not nurses. They're not PAs. And they'll say things like, okay, I'll just say it. Let's say, this is my example. Don't hate me for it. If I'm going to the moon, I'm going to go to space travel, yahoo. And you're excited for me. You're my friend and yay and all that. And you want to give me advice because you really loved the movie Apollo 13. And you're going to tell me everything because you saw it 5 times. With all due respect, I'm going to be getting my space travel advice from an astronaut or an astrophysicist with a PhD from MIT who has studied this their entire life and had 3 moon walks. Does that make sense? Not everybody's opinion is equal. It's our world's too specialized. And I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just saying, if everybody's opinion was equivalent, then there wouldn't be things to learn, because some people don't learn anything. But what I'm finding is that people think that their uneducated opinion is on the same level as someone who's spent their entire life learning something. And it's kind of embarrassing. I won't mention names, but it's somebody a friend of mine's following. Okay, nothing. Okay, so anyway, I think that's part of our problem is we're not really humble enough. It's like the Dunning-Kruger effect. We know so little that we don't realize just how little we know. The Dunning-Kruger effect is like, you really know so little that you're not a good judge of what you know because you know so little. I've been there. I've done that before. And it's a very humbling experience. But I think a lot of people don't. And I'm going to shut up now. The R word, blah, blah. He's the R word the algorithm doesn't like. Too racist as hell. Yes. Okay, got it. Let me see. Here's the quote of the day. Oh, wait, first, Gus Till. Wait until they find out about ancient America. LO. They're not ready for that conversation, though. Oh, we white folks are not ready for these conversations. But you know what? We need to be. I won't even start ranting, but this is just, I'm sorry, but, you know, we are way past. This should all be a moot point. This should be something we read about in a dusty old history book, because nobody would ever think to be that way to their fellow humans. Yet here we are with the wannabe, you know, I guess, Grand Wizard of the KKK running our goddamn country. It's like, I'm sorry, it's terrifying. Quote of the week. Oh, ancient Africa, absolutely. Yeah, if anyone's opinion had the same value, we wouldn't have science. Well, how do you think we got Trump? Exactly, right. I didn't even know there was a thing about not believing in science. I didn't know there was such thing. Okay, I'm like, what? I mean, it's a joke. Things have gotten really out of control. I mean, like beyond, like I said, left in America, extreme left, is called being humane. In every other country, we just call it that. I'm telling you, we are not left. We're not even close, right? We're inhumane in this country. And not everybody, but enough people that we have Trump and his clan, and we're doing cruel and horrific things to people. I just want to say one thing, and I swear I'm going to get with the curriculum here. I'll get with the outline that I have. This country is a wealthy country. We could afford to tide every single solitary person in it over for months upon end with the COVID virus and have minimal problems, and everyone could stay home and get a certain amount of money so they wouldn't be homeless and not paying bills and not having health care. We just don't want to. It's not our values. Okay, we value money. We value white stuff. White, I'm kind of tan. So we value white, and we value money over humans. And that's something I'm going to talk about tonight, because anyway, that's something I'm going to talk about tonight. Quote of the week. My quote of the week comes from the Washington Post op-ed this guy was watching. His name's David Ignatius, and he speaks the truth, even though I didn't want to hear this truth. But I read it and said, yeah, that's the quote of the week. So he said, this guy, Mr. op-ed journalist, says from the Washington Post, for President Trump and his campaign, the Portland protests and similar eruptions elsewhere are a dream come true. This is a president who quite literally has nothing to run on, no positive achievements to show. His only chance is that his adversaries, that would be anyone who cares about people, will create opportunities for him. Let's be honest, the television footage of police ducking rocks and bottles and other debris plays directly into Trump's hand. He makes it look like a country that looks like it's falling apart. Now, I truly believe Trump's all about propaganda, and they'll show like 8 hours of totally peaceful protests with thousands and thousands of people. Everything's perfectly cool. And then suddenly, all of a sudden, at night at 3 a.m., when there's like 10 people out, somebody will do something. And he will video that for half an hour and make it like, I mean, the man is a propaganda expert. He follows, Russia, and Russia's really good at that. So I'm just saying, I don't believe a thing he says or does. He is so full of it. And look what he did with those doctors, getting like quack doctors up there to Mr. F.S. Black, welcome. How anyone cannot believe in such thing as science, but put any amount of belief in Trump just shows that white supremacy is a belief system in and of itself. Amen to that. Yep. Mm-hmm. We white folks will literally vote against our own best interest, our own monetary interest, our own human interest, just to keep our racism. It's really pathological. I'm sorry. It's pathological. I mean, basically, if you're not extremely wealthy, like a billionaire or whatever, or multimillionaire, and a really racist one at that, because even multimillionaires would be like, are you kidding me? I'm not voting for that sicko. I guess monetarily wise, maybe they, because they're getting a lot of the benefits, because God knows the masses aren't. Nobody should be voting for him. And the most impoverished people are the ones who seem to, and the least educated. And that's really sad. We love our racism more than we love ourselves. I don't know how else to put it. That's just my thing. But anyway, so what did you guys think of this guy's quote? Yeah. Teabag is the physical representation of the supremacy ideology that drives the status quo. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he's the de facto modern leader of the Ku Klux Klan for the world. He is, he wouldn't say he is, because that's not what we do nowadays. White people don't say it, but his behavior speaks. People, think of his followers. I mean, they love him. All the most racist people that are famous for being horrific like that, and just off their rocker, follow him and love him and support him. And he's just a really good, really racist mob boss. So yeah, it's really sad. So the rant I have today is about Trump's incredible, now incredible doesn't always mean good, his incredible grasp he has on manipulating the depraved symbiotic balance we have between this Machiavellian capitalism and systemic racism. It's like a sick little relationship that kind of goes together. And I'll start off with a question. How many days, years, decades, centuries are Black Americans expected to wait for equitable human rights that most white folks are afforded automatically and given the benefit of the doubt immediately because they are white? Systemic racism is the bedrock of our nation. It's who we are and who we have always been. It's, in my opinion, our number one cultural value. Trump's election brought a series of hundreds, probably thousands that we don't know about, but hundreds of vicious, inhumane, un-American policies, harming impoverished people, harming the middle class, harming the masses, but devastating Black, brown, and indigenous folks and other people of color. And I must admit, the man has outdone himself. Trump, certainly the most overtly racist, bigoted, misogynistic, inhumane president I've ever known in my lifetime. But he's just so much more than that. We may be a nation whose primary values are all about white supremacy first and foremost, but we are a close second with money and greed over human dignity and life. I mean, the two morally corrupt values that America runs on seems to be really close in relationship. And I'm going to say they're tied for first place. Okay, last place. I mean, I don't know. First place, it's not good, but for our culture, I truly believe greed and money over humans and systemic racism are the number 1 and 2, whichever order you want, values of our nation. And it's absolutely disgusting. And America's problem is our culture. Sorry, my opinion. And Trump has led the way, choosing to make laws and policies that place greed over human life, safety, health, and any other basic necessities. He has created policies that harm Black, brown, Indigenous people at so much higher percentages than white. He knows exactly what he's doing. It is purposeful. And don't believe for one moment that he's not also harming white people, because he is. And sometimes in the numbers that are even higher, because we have a higher percentage of population. But percentage-wise, it's out of control. He knows what he's doing. It's purposeful. I truly believe when he found out that the pandemic was harming our Black sisters and brothers more because of the ongoing systemic racism and the horrific lack of health care, I think that was the day he decided, you know what? I'm not going to do shit about the pandemic. That's just my opinion. Lakeisha, thank you for being here. I'm almost done with my rant. The pandemic is actually a great example of this. America could easily give every single person money to tide us over and get us through this pandemic. We have the money. But unlike other nations, America just doesn't have the humane values. And we're not demanding it because a lot of us kind of buy into it. I'm sorry to say. I'm not blaming the victim, but I'm telling you right now, we got to be with it. Okay? This country is for the wealthiest elites. And we got to do it. We could deconstruct systemic racism. I know we could. The wealthiest people who run this nation do not want to, especially Trump, the grand wizard. They don't want to stop it. It benefits them. In fact, he promotes it and adds fuel to the fire every single breath he takes. And it's out of control. Trump and other wealthy people like him who control our nation have a vested interest in keeping systemic racism alive and thriving. So why do I say Trump's outdone himself? Well, because he's done the impossible. Or, okay, maybe it's not the impossible. He's done it. He actually has influenced people who are struggling terribly to make ends meet. They're monetarily broke. They're struggling horribly to back him. It's like, oh my God, these people don't get it. They, of all people, should not be supporting him. Let me explain. I've never seen a group of people support a man who goes so incredibly directly against their own interests and to such an extreme. The people who support Trump, people who support Trump's hate and greed are acting against their own best interest, and they're doing so with this incredibly surreal loyalty. A lot of people said that they're like a cult. I don't get it. You can't reason with them. Well, because they don't believe in science, because they support a man who doesn't believe in science. They support a man who's racist as all living hell. So it's just, you can't support someone and not be that yourself. I'm sorry. Okay? I'm just speaking the truth, right? If you support a racist, sure, you might not be burning crosses on your lawn, but it wasn't a deal breaker for you. And that is incredibly racist. I'm sorry, it is. I've struggled to figure out why these people with normal intelligence would ever be fooled by such a horrible racist. He does the reverse Robin Hood things. He does the reverse Robin Hood. He takes money from the masses and gives it to the billionaires. I'm going to say really fast, Lakeisha, we need you to interview as soon as possible, closer to the, yes. Oh, I would love to interview you. Just write to me. I put you know how to get a hold of me. I would love to. Shadow, glad to see you, smart one on. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shadow. And I know that. And this is kind of a rant. And I got to tell you, and I've said this a number of times before. Thanks for the support, Shadow. Here's the thing. I speak my heart. But if Trump or any of his clan were falling off a cliff, I would be the first one to grab them and try to pull them back. Because I don't let them, I'm not because I'm so great. No. Because I do not let people like that set my standards. And I have this teeny little, it's probably really minuscule right now, bit of hope left that maybe someday people will get this and just look back and will be considered to have been in the dark ages. Because technology is moving on and evolution of humans is not. And it's really scary. This is not rocket science. It's called being human. And I know I sound really harsh, but I'd give the shirt off my back to anyone who needed it, no matter what their affiliation was. But I purposely would not be friends with them because I am very privileged and I can choose who I am with. And I don't want sick, hateful, racist people near me or my kids. And that's a privilege to have. And I realize it. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for being here. And Lakeisha, absolutely. I'm extremely excited. You can tell I'm like all hyper. Guskilla, they only believe in science when it comes to some fake IQ BS. Well, yeah, that's a strange thing. See, the first thing that I said when I found out that Trump doesn't believe in science and all that stuff is like, well, my first experience with him not believing in science was climate change, because he misrepresented a man from MIT who had done a study showing that, yes, climate change is real. He misrepresented him. He said the study showed climate change wasn't real. And the guy was mortified because he's like this, up and coming famous scientist. And Trump basically probably skimmed what he put or couldn't read it well, or I don't know what, and came out with the opposite conclusion. So the guy came over and like apologized in the news. He was like mortified. I would have been too, because like, wow. And I did one of my first videos about, it's not that Trump doesn't believe in climate change. Trump doesn't understand climate change. He does not get it. He doesn't get the science. Yet, that same day I heard Trump talking about getting a physical at the doctor's. Why would you do that if science isn't real? I just think he should either be, all science isn't real or science is real. You don't get to pick and choose. That's strange to me. But anyway, so I've struggled personally to not to make it all about me, but I keep thinking, if I could figure out these white folks, if I could figure it out, then I can like do something to help. How normal, intelligent people could be fooled into being total racists and supporting the reverse Robin Hood thing and take money from the masses and themselves and give it to billionaires and have it be okay to have for-profit prisons? Oh my God. And have it be okay to have for-profit healthcare? That's sick. That's sick shit. That's sick. For-profit healthcare. My God, your pain is our glory. We make money off of your basically death and pain. That's horrible. It's really sick. So once again, I'm going to explain how Trump uses racism to trigger his followers, all while stealing from their pockets right under their noses. I hate to say it again because it's very antiquated. It's kind of rude, but it's true. Lyndon B. Johnson, yes, I think I quote him more than anybody. I should have memorized the damn thing. Explains this phenomenon better than anything I've ever heard. When he said, and again, it's pretty antiquated and racist, but he said it, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him someone to look down upon and he'll empty his pockets for you. And that is what white people are doing. We have been suckered into being fools. We're not going to get rich if we keep working hard. No, Trump and all the 1%ers are getting rich off of us. And they want us to keep working hard. And they certainly do not want us to blame them for creating laws that destroy our livelihoods, our life, our peace of mind, our health. And so they think we should blame Black people for everything. And we're stupid enough to do it. I'm sorry. It's just, I'm trying to be real here. We do it. The Trump supporters have been fooled into working for the wealthiest Americans for free. Ever heard of corporate taxes? I wonder where that tax money comes from, because many wealthy corporations don't pay taxes. So the whole gig is this. If you just work a little harder, here's the thing. You won't be able to have a wonderful, nice life. That's a myth. But the whole thing people believe is if you just worked a little harder, that maybe someday you'll be rich like them. No, no, no. The wealthiest people in America are not going to allow us to do that. They simply need to convince you that it's Black people, immigrants, criminals, liberals. Again, we're not liberal in this country, I promise, that are all the problem. They're causing all the problems. And if it weren't for them, you'd have a great life. I mean, talk about a crock of you know what. I don't speak for Black people. I mean, I can say one thing. I get this feeling that Black folks are a little freaking tired of this shit. I mean, that's just put it mildly. I imagine Black people are sick of the discrimination against them in every single area of life and all this gaslighting and all this denial. And oh my God, it's obnoxious. It's truly obnoxious. It must be exhausting. I imagine Black people are so sick of this. And I'm guessing they're sick and tired of their loved ones being killed and maimed and abused. All for this ludicrous human construct of systemic racism. And I bet they're really, really sick and tired of the tension and the kind of cloud over your head that you must feel, because so many of my friends have said stuff like that to me. Like, it's exhausting. I cannot imagine. Like I said at the beginning of this rant, how many decades, how many centuries should Black Americans be expected to wait patiently to just get their human rights so that we'll have some equity, just like most white folks are afforded automatically? You tell me. Rant over. Just kidding. That was my rant. I'll take some comments. It's kind of a long one, but I was kind of in a ranty mood. Before I take the comments, I wanted to know, did anybody hear that? Because like right when I was coming on, I heard that Trump is now pulling out of Portland. He claims a success. My God, the man, I don't think he knows what that word means, maybe, but he claims a success. But then I saw a little thing on him, like right before I started this live show, that he's not pulling out. I mean, he's just, anyway, I was just wondering if anybody's heard of that. Ghost kill, pseudoscience, BS they believe in, yes. Nails and glitter. Narcissists confuse and gaslight to keep people from making sense of their nonsense. But the more he talks, the more stupid he sounds. Yeah, I don't believe a word. If he ever did tell the truth, like, like even a broken clock's like right twice a day. If he ever did tell the truth, I wouldn't believe a freaking word he said. The man, I've never seen anybody like this in my life. He just continuously lies. It's really, I truly believe he has a personality disorder. Something's extremely wrong with him. But anyway, I don't wish harm upon him. I want him out of our lives. He's a sick, sick man. Nails and glitter. His coronavirus task force walked out yesterday. His coronavirus force walkout yesterday was a tantrum because his usual tactics weren't working. He's getting really frustrated. And like I said in the second to last time I was online, what do people do when they're working at a company and they know they're going to be booted out, and they've been Mr. Bigwig at the company and they know it's over? They take down the company with them. And I truly believe there will be a point in the next 4 months, and I don't know what it is or how it'll go down, but it's going to go down. Right now, he's got to be in panic mode because it's not looking good. Now, that's not to say that he's not going to win, because I truly believe with his Cambridge Analytica stuff that he's the company moved. There was a British company that was using Facebook, using PSYOPs, military science operations to cheat in the election and to brainwash Americans. I did a video on it. It's fascinating stuff. If only it wasn't happening to us. Facebook allows it. That's why they do not follow they don't. Now they're starting to a little bit because they've gotten so much pressure, but they normally do not look at the political stuff and determine whether things are false. They allow false news to flourish, and it's really bad. And that corporation was dismantled, but 4 of the people who worked there started another company called Data Propia, and Trump hired them for 2020. So if you're in a swing state, a purple state. I don't know what the status is right now of them hiring him because they're not going to tell me. But according to a lot of very good sources, like every source, pretty much, he's their client for the 2020, and he will be cheating and has been cheating by brainwashing people online. And it's a very slow, very precise process. You will get information nobody else gets. It's all specialized for your needs to get you swayed. And they pick people in purple states. It's really fascinating stuff. They used it on the military. They used it on jihadists and it actually supposedly did a lot to stop jihadists from, getting radicalized and stuff like that. And they also used it on drug lords and to get their carriers to go again. I mean, this is social science at the highest level of technology. It's psyops, and we've used it on our own people. And right now we are using it on our own people, unless data propaganda got, dismantled, which I certainly think we would hear about. Most people don't even know about Cambridge Analytica. It's too much to keep up with. It's not their fault. It's just, there's too much news. But let me see here. Let me see. Yes, I did. Kim, did you hear what that SOB Senator Tom said about slavery? He said slavery was a necessary evil, and he's trying to get legislation to remove federal money from the 1619 project. Yeah, he's a little sicko. I did read about that. Sometimes when I see stuff like that, I dismiss it, not because it's not completely true, but because I think that person's insane. Like, I literally say, like, what can I say about them? That's insane. I mean, that's against human nature. That's against humanity. That's really fucked up thinking. That's terrifying. And I mean, truly anyone can be in public office after having Trump and somebody like that and the number of other people. I almost like ignore them because I just think they're too far gone there. That's crazy. So it's disgusting. 2020, we still have people pulling that shit. He's the sickest racist Republican. Yeah. I cannot believe it. It's 2020. And people vote for someone who's that psycho. I don't know. I think it's a disorder, really. I mean, something's wrong with people, but don't even get me started. Anyway, so where was I? Thank you for bringing that up. Jump right in and tell me what you think. I read the article, but I was just like, oh God, what a crazy person, so. But my next topic, if you guys can stand me much longer, Trump's reelection strategy or lack thereof. I know that something's going to happen pretty soon that is going to divide us even further because Trump's desperate and he's going to want to divide us further. Right now, he's desperate. But that is what always happens whenever white folks start catching on to the fact that our plight is exactly the same as everybody else's, unless we're billionaires, and we need to unite to stand up for each other, stand up for our brothers and sisters and be there. Not because it's our topic, but because it's their topic, which will be our topic by definition. And until we start thinking that way, that your pain is my pain, we're never going to unite. We are brothers and sisters. I'm sorry not to talk like incestuous, but we are all related. Okay. I'm just saying we are all related. We need to start acting like it. We are here on this planet for such a short amount of time. Barely a little piece of sand in every desert and beach on the planet. Why wouldn't we try to be good to each other while we're here? Why do we have to be evil and cruel? I don't mean biblically evil. I mean just rotten. I don't get it. But anyway, yeah, it's really hard to deal with sometimes. And I'm white. Just think if I wasn't. I mean, I know white people's lives aren't perfect. White privilege doesn't mean your life is perfect. It doesn't mean you don't work hard. It doesn't mean you don't struggle. It means that being white isn't part, the fact that you're white isn't a part of your struggle. Okay? It's like people just don't even get the definition. It doesn't mean enough problems. It doesn't mean you're, I've gone on and on. I have a series called Anti-Racism 101. And if you ever have anyone who says something so stupid to you that you're just like, oh my God, send them a video. You don't even have to. That's what they're for. They're for folks who just, you're like, I cannot take you, but you just want to do something. Send them. I have a video on almost every topic that's like beginner, cliche denial of racism. And there's about 20 or 30 of them, and they're ridiculous. And nobody ever comes up with a new one. Sorry to say. But I mean, it's good, but it's like there's nothing is ever original. It's all just ludicrous. Well, next topic is Trump's election strategy. Trump and his clan are really, really frightened, and they're fearful of a lot of things. But I'll tell you, they are most certainly fearful of one thing in general, and that's losing the presidency. I'm fairly certain this is kind of a mob boss type function of being fearful and being, putting fear into everybody around you, because clearly Trump is really, really a bully, and people are afraid of him because he will destroy you. He will get to you. He will get his people to get to you. He works pretty much. I mean, I watched some mob boss TV shows. I don't know any mob bosses in person, but I'm pretty sure he works like a mob boss. Not like particularly break your thumbs, but we'll get to your family. Let's be real, he does, okay? I don't want to get into the details on that because it makes me so angry. But his number one fear is losing the presidency. And I don't think it's because he wants to be president, I promise you. He's got to know somewhere deep inside that he is the worst. I mean, the number one thing, if you're going to be a president, you should actually give a shit about your fellow humans. It's just like a really low bar, and he doesn't. Julian, hi, jump right in. I'm just bagging on the haters and hating on the haters, I guess you could say. No, I'm trying to understand them. Thank you, Julian, for being here. So Trump is afraid of losing the election. And I do not think it's because he just really wants to be president. I think he feels like he's going to be held responsible for a number of crimes against humanity and other crimes that are just criminal acts in the books, that he will be held responsible. So as you can see, Trump, as he's living now, above the law, circumventing the Constitution, like a dictator, destroying everything that gets in his way, has a huge stake in staying president. And he has a very obvious modus operandi. I mean, his goal is to create fear in his constituency. And his goal is to have his followers paralyzed with fear, with his propaganda and all the stuff he makes up, the problems he creates. Fear works great on people who don't feel like they have control over their lives. And this is just kind of, Psych 101. I'm no expert. And the less educated people are and willing to put the effort in to critical thinking, because it's a little painful. You have to, God knows, you have to really think. It's effort. The less educated you are and the less, I don't mean going to school or college. I mean willing to use critical thinking skills. You don't have to go to college for that, okay? You just have to be interested and motivated and care. And the better his tactics work, the less educated people. Fear works to create irrational thinking and behavior that actually impedes our critical thinking skills. Clearly, most of his followers, by this point, people who haven't just dumped him, have pretty much stopped. And it's the only explanation I can think of as to why these otherwise rational people could support such incredible inhumanity. They're like sucked in. I'd rather think that than think that they're just evil, horrible people or something. I just don't want to even go there. I think they've been brainwashed or something. Let me explain in a little more detail what I'm getting at here. People have evolved from animals, the science thing with instincts. People evolved from animals with instincts to humans with the ability to be afraid but not necessarily have to, like an instinct, act on it, but instead use high reasoning skills and logic to explore a better reaction, logic it out, think it out. This part of the brain is relatively new in the evolution of people and humans on the evolutionary timeline. It's the new part of our brain. And because of this, I guess when we are highly emotional, we tend to push aside critical thinking, logical behavior, and instead we fall into this fight or flight mode. And we've all heard fight or flight. But, well, in this condition, our brain signals our autonomic nervous system. This is a real scientific thing to produce hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. And the stress hormones can be released so quickly. And whichever one's stronger creates flight or fight. You freeze or so Trump has mastered the art of creating fear and using false narratives and better known as outright lies, total BS. His classic modus operandi is this. He creates fear over an issue or a big, big issue, or makes an issue bigger than life and sound catastrophic. And the next action he takes is that he is the hero to solve it. And so he's the hero only he can solve it. And the catch is he created the problem to begin with. So here's an example. Sending in military troops to abuse and terrorize peaceful protesters is pretty conniving way to keep the voices of people at bay, scare the people from coming out to protest. And when someone does become threatening, he takes everybody and categorizes everyone together and lumps them all together and saying, look at these horrible, violent, aggressive people. He does not know gray area. He is either way over here on one side or way over here on another. He's A to Z. There's no elemental P, for lack of a better way of putting it. So he's really good at doing this. Unfortunately, Trump's clan has passed the point of no return, in my opinion. They've given up on critical thinking skills. I don't even know if they know they're lying, honestly, or maybe they're just good at it. But I watched that I watched the hearings, and I looked into that William Barr's eyes, and I'm sorry, no one could believe no person of sound mind could believe the words he was saying. I can't believe he believes this. And yes, I'm naive, and yes, I have this white privilege. I don't know. Maybe I'm easily fooled. I can't believe that he believes this sick shit. They've given up on research, and they've basically given up on sorting out what is a bold-faced lie and what is a fact. It's really scary. They've stopped using their God-given, whoever given, abilities to be humane, logical, and think about what's best for humanity. And fight, flight, or freeze. And I read, they had that in the article I was reading too. Fight, flight, or freeze. And it's really interesting. If only it weren't happening to us, It's real interesting. In some science book, but this isn't a science book. This is our life. And I truly believe Womobile, trust me, Kim, Trump's henchmen know that. Maybe are they just really good at it? Or I you know what? I don't think they don't know they're lying. It just they're so good at it. It's kind of scary. I'm very naive. Hi, Womobile One. Thanks for being here. I'm so naive, and I know it. Okay, I'll tell you a really quick story. Don't hate me for it. One time, this is a long time ago. I went away for a day, and our kids. Let's see. It was with our kids. It's the one time we went away, and we had my very, very. This is 20 years ago. We had my very best babysitter that I just loved. Staying at our house because we have a dog. And then 20 years ago, we had a dog. And I don't know, for some reason, we had her there. And when we got back, our neighbors came over and said, we don't know what happened. You were only gone for a day, but something's going on at your house. And we're like, I was, what? What do you mean? They're there's cigarette butts all over. I'm like, oh, That couldn't be. Okay, this child had a raging party at our house. And I still was like, I said, you wouldn't do that. I confronted her. You would never do that, would you? You know, she's like, no, I would never. And I'm an idiot. So I know my naivete has like knows no bounds. Okay, 3 years later, we got a new babysitter. And the babysitter came up to us and said, I think I've been in this house before. I'm like, what? She goes, didn't you guys have a party? And I was like, oh my God. She goes, yeah, I was here for a big party once. I'm like, oh my God. So this is like years after. So I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. Anyway, end of story. Story's over. So no, I know how I'm very naive like that. Hello, Kim in room. The Anton just got new iPad. How to use different. Anton, welcome. Sweet. Nice to have you. Yes, we have missed you. We have missed you. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. And you're going to have to remind me because I'm all over the place. But anyway, that was my stupid story. But I'm like self-aware. I know it's just, I don't know. Something's wrong with me. Let me get the comments that people had. Jillian. Again, thank you so much. So what's your reaction to Yoho insults towards AOC? I was like, here's the thing. In the olden days, you could call someone a bitch and people weren't, I mean, I'm like old. So, I mean, really olden days, like old, really olden days. Okay. And you can just think to yourself, it's just a name. But that word is a misogynistic term. And unfortunately, when people use it with other F words and whatnot, who are supposed to be professional politicians, that's just nuts. And it's a very, very misogynistic way to put things. And now, no, you cannot use that without being a misogynist. I'm sorry. It's just, you're saying that the essence of her being who she is as a woman is the reason she's horrible. I mean, basically, it's really bad. I loved how she handled it. She's really been raised well. At least as far as knowing who she is and having self-respect. And she's a role model to me because I was not raised that way. I had to kind of figure it out. So I thought she handled it fantastic. A lot of people say, oh, she overreacted. No, think about your work. Let's say you're a computer programmer. What if somebody did that to your work? Do you think that would be just like, oh my God? No one would, because you had an idea they didn't like. Not because you were doing something to them, not because you were putting something, just because you had an idea they didn't like. So I guess that's a good question. I thought it was obnoxious. And I was pleased that his Christian, I mean, you can do things like this. It's not illegal, but society is kind of a judge, jury, and executioner sometimes. And I'm not all for ruining people's lives because a lot of times things like this end up being falsehoods and she said this and he said that, but this obviously from the mouth of the people, but a lot of times online is why I'm not into that kind of thing as much. But if something's legit and it's legal and it's just horribly inhumane, I've kind of come full circle with that. He needs to be held accountable for his poor professional behavior. In his personal life, I don't care what he does, but he was acting in a professional manner as he's walking up the steps of the Congress. I mean, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Not good. Not good. And for a man, I mean, she could be his daughter. He has a daughter. He has a wife. What do you say to somebody like that? How can you be with somebody who chooses to take what you have to say and make it about you being a woman and make it nasty? How about this? You know what? I really disagreed with you, what you had to say. I absolutely vehemently oppose what you have to say. Not, you're a bitch. You're an effing bitch. I mean, that's just like, God, grow up. But anyway, not like, oh, I'm so perfect, but I don't think you have to be that perfect to not do that. I hope that answered your question. Not good. Let me see here. Let me see. Of course, I skip things because I'm just, let's so me. Well, there's a saying, the more you say a lie or several lies, especially when it is eventually a factually disproven, eventually that lie becomes the truth to people. This is the playbook of Trump and his henchmen. Yeah. In fact, I think it was just right before you got here, maybe, that I was saying the problem with this false news and all that is the false news that Trump and his clan puts out is usually the exact opposite of the real truth. And there is a real truth. And when somebody puts out false stuff, what it does is oftentimes the people who believe in the truth think, well, maybe the truth is somewhere in between. And that's a very dangerous place to be. It's basically you're being influenced by lying sacks of shit. I mean, I don't know how to put it. So it's like really, it's a really bad thing. We got to think for ourselves. We have to do our own research. We cannot be, everything we do needs to be humane. We got to start caring about each other. Geez, I don't know why our evolution is kind of like slow or something. I don't know. It's appalling. Like I said earlier, these leftist crazy ideas about humanity and equality and equity. Oh my God, they're not leftist ideas. They're called being human. They're human ideas. We're not far left here. Only for us we are. Everywhere else, I think they call it acting like a human. And I mean that with all my heart. I mean, this is ridiculous. This really is. And anyway, I'm blabbing. See, this is what happens. So yeah, I know what you mean. And especially if you hear something over and over and over again, I get easily influenced because like I look at them going, I know they're lying, but like it looks like they really believe this. It's just fascinating to me. But again, I've lied through my teeth twice in my life. I mean, like a real lie. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you what it was. 2 times. And I haven't done any more. And that's not, oh, I'm so great. It hasn't been much effort. It's just who I am. I've done other bad things, but not that. So I don't get the whole lying thing. Like I kind of do, but not, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm just not like big into the lying thing, I guess. And that was a big bold-faced lie. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm losing it. Okay. No, and I just lied to you right now. Okay. There, L-O-C-O. Oh gosh, I can't pronounce your name. Miss or Mr. There. We all do dumb shit. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I do too. Everyone does. That's a good point. But nails and glitter. The bigger the lie, the easier it is to sell. The smaller the lie, and less. Well, here's the thing that's so crazy about him. He will actually do something in a video that's spread all over the world and say, no, I didn't. And that gaslighting. That's how I was raised. Like my mom would beat the living shit out of me. And I was so shy and so not a good candidate for being, she didn't have to beat me. She could just talk to me, but she got really violent. And what was my point I'm making? Okay, I'm losing it. She would gaslight me. The next morning she'd go, good. Like I'd be terrified of her. I'd be like, if it was a weekend, I'd be like staying in bed, like not getting up because I was scared of her, like scared to come upstairs. And she'd finally come down at like, 11 in the morning and go, good morning, sweetie. I made pancakes. And I was like, is this the Twilight Zone? Holy shit. So I got gaslighted to the point where like, I have no tolerance for it, I guess you could say. Like, I mean, she'd do things like, I got this just for you. I'm like, that's been in our house for like 30 years. I don't say that because I just, I don't even call her out anymore. But like, it's like, oh my God. It's like when you're raised with that, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people become like that, but I did the opposite. So enough about me and my crazy life. But yeah, I don't like the gaslighting. It's crazy. So let me see. Thanks as a glitter. I got sweet. Okay, let me just see. Did I miss anybody? I probably did. If I did, just give a yell. Oh, one bill in some part of the Republican Party. Got it. I'm so bad because it scrolls right through. So just jump right in. I have a couple more things to say, topics, and it's all whatever you guys want to talk about. There's just it's overwhelming. There's so much to talk about. It's ludicrous. There's so much to talk about. So here's my thing. He scares people who are scared want leadership, even if it's leadership based on total lies or things that you've made up to scare people. And the problem with all this fabrication is he gets to solve the problem that he created. So it's a very strange psychological dynamic. Instead of thinking, why are there thousands of protesters all over America and in 16 nations? Why are they so upset? They keep talking about police brutality and horrific abuse by police and police murdering with impunity. There's thousands and thousands of people thinking about this and talking about this and going out every night and risking COVID-19 virus to show we aren't going to take this, okay? And he'd think, why would they be willing to do all this? What are they trying to accomplish? Instead, he's using brute force. It's the only way he knows, because the alternative is to listen to the voices of the people. And clearly, he and many others are incapable of it. The people are done, as far as I can tell, with police brutality and murder with impunity, okay? Some of us have always been done with that, but more people are catching on, okay? And no, I don't think they get great credit for catching on. I'm glad they are. They're catching on to how to act human. It's about freaking time. But I am extremely thankful that they are. I know Black people are going to find their equity and their equality. I know they are. But God forbid white people stop watching and start supporting real equity. I mean, what do we do? Just stand there and watch our fellow humans be traumatized and be like, oh, it's not my problem. And this is crazy. So I am thrilled that people are out there. I am thrilled. But no, they don't get credit. We don't get thanks. We don't get thanks for acting the way we're supposed to act, like humans who care about our fellow humans. Just my take. So I think my hope is that the gig's up and it's time to unite again. It's not going to be easy with this government. We've let it go way too far. The rich are enjoying their status and using it as best they can. And Trump is probably sitting, watching Fox News right now, thinking, how can I divide these people up? He's getting desperate. And all I'm saying is, please don't let him do this to us. We're finally realizing we all have the same plight. The wealthiest elites are destroying our country. They don't want of the people, for the people, by the people. They want of the money for them and nothing for everyone else. So, all right, let me take some comments. Lying is something that you pick up as a kid, a skill as a kid. You know what? I never had it as a kid. Maybe I was like a slow child. I don't know. But like, I was a slow child. I just didn't, I don't know. I think they're going to find a lying gene or a propensity to deceive gene. I don't know. Or maybe I just was full of guilt. I don't know. But if I did something bad, I was like the worst enemy to myself. And it's like I worked to go the other way, kind of be the selfish woman that I am today. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, yeah, I just never learned to lie. It's really, and that was a lie. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm being goofy tonight. Yeah. Jillian, what's your reaction towards Trump trying to get kids back to school despite that's my next topic. Yay, the pandemic is out of control just because he wants the parents to go back to work for the economy boost. You put it so well. I wish you were on the show live. You're really good with words. Yes, my next topic, Trump trying to force American school children back to school because he's a little sicko. I'll definitely talk about that for a little bit. But first, let me just grab some. That's a good question. Kim, I want you to read about the NESARA Act. Okay, I'm open. I have like zero time. I admit I'm like no sleep. I barely shower, but I will have like 10 books or here, put it in line because I really, really value your input. And I will, if only I could have the abridged version of everything. I just can't keep up with life because there's so much going on and I want to learn everything. So, but thank you, Letitia. We need to chat. Hopefully if you're around tomorrow or the next day, I will be around. Kitchen politics. Are you off work? A rare Wednesday off. Oh, hello. How the hell is everyone tonight? Had to go to the eye doctor today. Oh, tell us about your eye because he had serious surgery on his eye. And he voted in the Trump 216 and said he will vote Biden 2020. I was floored. He's a conservative. You know what? I got to tell you, somebody in my family was a Republican. I won't say who, but it wasn't me. I'm independent. I have no party. I don't even like parties. Okay, so we got a little mail today, or it was actually a day ago, and I was like, oh my God. And me and my kids were like, oh my God, somebody sent us Trump mail. So of course we had to open it. I took pictures of it. I mean, we're weirdos in our family. I'm like, oh my God, it's to somebody in this family. And then we opened it up and I had the pictures and my son was like, this is insane. I don't know if you all get like his little propaganda stuff, but he is so unprofessional. He is so pathetic. I should just read it on the air just so people know who are not around. See, I'm sheltered. I'm not around people like that. A lot of people who are Republicans aren't voting Republican and could never. Republican isn't what it used to, like the word Republican basically means, to me, it means racist, bigoted piece of shit. I mean, I'm sorry. You cannot look past supporting someone who is inhumane and say you're still humane. That's just, it might have been upsetting, but it wasn't a deal breaker. And that's, I'm not talking religion. That's inhumane. So yeah, people do change. And I know that. And otherwise I wouldn't be trying. I just say, give up. I can't do it. No one cares. I mean, even if I get one person to think, just one little person, maybe they'll get somebody to think. And maybe they'll, I don't know. I'm a dreamer. I know. You can slap me if you could. Okay. Kitchen politics. I think that is awesome. Just give some help. All things narcissism. Oh, yes. I totally follow her. Sometimes I don't have a lot of time, but yeah, she's good. She's like a psychiatrist or psychologist. I can't remember which. I know you know. But yeah, I've seen her stuff. Lakeisha Kitchen. Let me see here. Came to the bottom. All right. I'm going to wrap it up soon, even though I appreciate everyone being here so much. I'm going to be on next week. And remember, I have this Friday, I'm going to do a thing on this abolitionist who is a radical abolitionist. I mean, they killed him. I mean, but what a life. What a life. Yeah. So here's the thing with the schools. Barron School isn't reopening. But here's part of the thing that people don't get is that, you're reading the book. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I just don't have time. I would, but, Uncle Don. Yeah, absolutely. Everything she said makes complete sense. Here's the thing. Donald's been getting testing once or twice a day, every single solitary day by professionals. And so is everybody in the White House. He might not have been wearing a mask, but everyone else around him was forced to wear a mask. How do I know this? It's common knowledge. Okay. He can get a test anytime he wants, right? At a time when he is not living the same world we're living in, is what I'm trying to say. Of course, he wants us to go back to school and have our children. I'm enraged just thinking about it. His precious baby, oh no, he won't go back, but our children should, because to keep the economy going. Are you kidding me? We're in a wealthy nation. We could keep the economy going. We could keep everything going. We just don't want to. Like one of the politicians said, we don't want to teach people that not working is better. Exactly how fucking stupid do they think we are? People want to progress and learn and work and grow. They want to be productive. Mitch McConnell is a freaking idiot. How dare he? That's all I have to say. Yeah, tiding us over so we don't starve to death is going to make us not want to work. But it's terrible. Kitchen politics. I'm starting to feel sorry for him. Mommy didn't hug him as a child, and now the world is paying dearly for it. Total fuckery. Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of us had crappy childhoods, okay? Maybe not as bad as him. Maybe better, maybe worse. There comes a time in your life, okay? And I promise you, sadly, I know a little bit about this, that you decide what kind of person you want to be when you grow up. Maybe you're 40 when you decide, maybe you're 30, maybe you're 20, maybe you're 50. And you decide, you know what? My parents treated me like a piece of shit. I know how not to be. I'm going to take some responsibility because now I'm an adult. And I don't feel sorry for him. If he was like 20, yeah, absolutely. If he was still, developing, 25 and under, whatever. There comes a certain point in your life, unless you're just tortured to the point where you're in a mental hospital and you can't function in life. I mean, that's over the top. If you're functioning in society in general, there comes a time where you say, self, you're an adult. And yeah, mommy and daddy were horrible. But mommy and daddy don't have any power over me anymore. Mommy and daddy aren't in charge of me. I am. And you decide, you make choices. And so I know what you mean. Yeah, of course I'll feel sorry if I read that because I'll think of a little child. Children are innocent. They do not deserve that. But there comes a time, and I'm not saying when, in your life where you need to start sucking it up and taking responsibility as an adult. And I think he's past that mark. And I think, yeah, not good. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's just, in other words, you can't blame mommy and daddy for everything forever. And as a person who really did not have a good childhood, I'm not saying this like naively, like, oh, yes, your childhood does matter. It's a gift you give your kids. A happy, content, not wealthy, it doesn't matter. Happy and content. It helps, I'll say that much, but a happy and content childhood is a gift you give your kids. And it's everlasting. It's a gift of the best gift you can give your kids, to give your kids a beautiful childhood. And it doesn't mean life's perfect, but it means they know they were loved and supported and challenged. And that you will always be there for them. You might not like their behavior, but you will always love them. It's not that hard. Anyway, speech over. Okay. Kitchen politics. I hear you, Angry Sock on it. At 75, he should know better by now. And not, yeah. And I know I don't think for 1 minute think you feel sorry for him, at that way. But yeah, when you read something about a kid being abused, it's horrible. And I think it is horrible with, but wealthy families, sure, they're wealthy, but here's the thing. It's not all as beautiful as you think. Let's just put it that way. You are him. I am him. You're Trump. Oh, Trump's finally writing in. Cool. Oh, okay. Tuning in, Soccer Mom. I am him. I'm talking about Trump, so I'm like, I am him. Oh my God. Maybe he's cooler than I thought he was. I like all your little things. Hi, welcome. Thanks for being here. We're just kind of wrapping it up. We're talking about, first of all, we're talking about why Trump wants, well, we know why. What we all think about Trump trying to force our children back to school with the COVID virus, trying to kill every one of us for his little economy and his little getting, I know why he wants to be reelected is because he's going to be charged with horrific crimes. In my mind, he's a criminal. And whether they follow through with those or not, whether he's indicted or not, I don't personally care. I just want him out of our lives. I don't care if he just goes and lives away and buzz off. I think he's done horrific things. Like, remember, he was accused of raping a 13-year-old with Epstein at a party, at Epstein's party. And what he did was he threatened the witnesses. And right before his election, I don't know if you guys remember this, there's just so much to remember. He, Gloria Allred was actually going to present the witness and bring them on over. And what happened was he got to them. And she got scared and he threatens their family. Who knows what he does? He's a mob boss type. So, I mean, he's done some very, very bad things. You don't get to reopen a case like that for nothing. I've seen her interview. I believe her 1,000%. She doesn't get a thing for it other than humiliation and bringing back the horrible memories of what he did. And nobody is brave enough to stand up against him because he's a terrorist. Anyway, don't get me started. So as we all know, Trump's handling of the coronavirus, or lack thereof, lack thereof is probably more accurate, has left us in a horrible position regarding any semblance of a normal life. His past and current refusal to do anything has not only made us the laughing stock of the world, but made it so we are no longer welcome anywhere really in the world, except the Caribbeans, which I love the Caribbean. I mean, I want to go to the Caribbeans. It sounds really cool. So I really want to go there. So I'm like, cool. Kind of wondering why they're letting us go. Like, why would they want us? We have failed. He likes to win. Well, he wins for the absolute most catastrophic job. He, in my mind, is responsible for thousands of deaths. And he'll be responsible for thousands more. It's unbelievable. Parents need to send disinfectant wipes to school every year. You can find them anywhere you go. So how do teachers spot? Yeah, I mean, can't find them anywhere. Right. And also, 165 out of 195 countries not allowing us in their country because of COVID. Thank you for the stats. I knew it was pretty bad. It's really bad. I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. He has ignored the problem because you know what? It just really doesn't impact him. Everyone around him is forced to wear a mask. He gets tested twice a day. More importantly, Trump's Freudian slip. Trump's lack of action has not just murdered people, but it's also made people die miserable deaths without their loved ones, without the right treatment in some cases. Not on purpose, but just because when hospitals overloaded, people pick and choose. Now they know not to stick you right on a ventilator right away. It's not safe. And most people would probably end up, a lot of people end up never waking up. And they die alone and suffocate to death. And yeah, it's sick, but I'm not afraid to say it because people, we need to just stop with all these, like, they passed away. No, they died. They didn't pass away. I mean, like, if somebody does pass away, that's good. That means they had a peaceful passing. If you suffocate to death, I'm sorry. That's not a peaceful passing. Without your loved ones there, the guilt. I read something about a lady who said they wouldn't let her in and her husband was dying and they didn't tell him that she wasn't allowed in. So he died thinking she wasn't there for him. And I'm sorry, that's just inhumane. Bygos Kella, I can't even bear the thought of thinking that, like, the person I love the most in the world thinks that they died alone, thinking I just, wasn't there. I mean, that's what really got me when I first heard about this, what they were doing. And thousands of people will live through it and their life will be forever changed because there's repercussions afterwards. This isn't a disorder that just lets you go. And now he wants to open up schools. How dare he? Talk about capitalism and his greed over human life. Well, we think maybe 10-year-olds can't get. I don't want his maybes. This is coming from a man who told us to drink bleach. Okay. decay or insert bleach into our bodies. This is coming from a man who doesn't believe in climate change, even though 98% of every single most brilliant climatologists and scientists say it is absolutely. We can see it happening. Give me a break. He has the gall to tell us to send our precious children to school. And you know what? A lot of us probably won't have a choice. And it's a real privilege to have a choice to do that. But how dare he? Why doesn't he send his son to school? You first. That's all I have to say. So if everyone's asking me, like, what do I think? I think he's a selfish jackass. And I say, you first. You drink the bleach. I'll go next. Sure. Not. You send your kid to school. Let me know how it works out. He's a sicko. Here's some quotes really fast. Here's some quotes of what people said, and I got them offline from Reddit, because Reddit people are hilarious. I just discovered Reddit, and like I'm sorry, it's so funny. These people, no shit's given. Okay. Children are fucking petri dishes. They spread colds around like bubonic rats when there isn't a pandemic. No amount of anything is going to prevent this insane surge of cases in school if schools are opened. It was kind of funny. Next quote. Teachers and administrators will yell them to keep their masks on, but eventually the kids will be alone in the bathrooms, lunchrooms, buses, recess, etc. Kids already want to push the boundaries, so I mean, this is the same thing, you know? So for things that are much less detrimental to life, so what do you think they're going to do if you nicely ask them to comply? What about the parents who tell their children, don't wear a mask? This is all fake. I mean, this is my favorite quote. It's kind of a long one, but it's pretty funny. This is my favorite. I swear I misspoke. Oh my God. Thanks, Nails and Glitter. Thanks a lot for pointing it out. Okay, my favorite quote. So I don't know who wrote this. I just random. Okay. Let me just see where. Okay. Unless we open. Let me see. Thoughts push to. Okay. Okay. Unless we open schools, unless we open schools and we can't reopen the economy because too many folks need them for childcare. You know, people need to work and their kids get childcare. Unless we reopen the economy, we'll have to keep giving people money to stay at home and do nothing, you know, or whatever, not work. And if we give people money to stay at home, they might realize that there is enough money to go around. We can't have that, can we? That is some truth. So if you're new to the show, please consider subscribing. Even if you hate my stuff, but you like what I'm trying to do, support me anyway. No, send my videos to people. Please share for me. I am not technically on Facebook anymore. I was kicked off for life. Whole long story. You don't want to hear it, but I love and miss my Facebook friends. And I'm really lucky I got to stay on YouTube because they're separate companies. Don't even get me started. And I'm trying to build my YouTube channel to try to educate white folks and also in one small, little, tiny way, help get the voices of the people out. You don't have to be a movie star or a billionaire to matter. And your voice matters. And if it could be not my voice and I could be in the corner like I tried to be, right now, too many people are afraid to come on, people who are Black, Brown, Indigenous, and African-American. And I totally get it. But if you support me, please consider subscribing and passing the stuff along. So I'm reading, what is that? Kitchen Politics. I wish someone would, never mind, oops. I don't want men in black knocking on my door. Uh-oh. So if you have time, yes. Oh my gosh, Lakeisha, yeah, they kicked me off. Mm-hmm. It was a long time ago. They kicked me off for life, completely off. And there are like thousands of people who pretty much got the message that they think I'm not returning their message or I don't know what, because I got a couple people who had my text messages were like, why'd you unfriend me? I'm like, I didn't unfriend anyone. And then they kicked me off. He gave me a down. Mark Zuckerberg personally, no, he didn't. His company, whatever, gave me like a zip thing of, right. No, they don't want to hear it. Right. Exactly. They don't want to hear the truth. They gave me like everything I've ever written and done. And because I had all this writing. I used to work for this person who, published all the stuff. And I was really bummed. Okay, I was devastated. I wasn't bummed. I was like, I cried. Like they took all my friends away, everything. No warning, no nothing. I've only been kicked off Facebook like twice for like 2 days each over all these years. I don't know. I don't know. I hope Dixon doesn't get kicked off, but I was an editor for him and now I can't be because I don't have any personal account or anything, no messenger, no homepage. A couple months back, I saw that something weird was going on. They weren't like, I went from getting 1,000 hits on one video to 0. And I'm like, what? That's really, I know some of my videos aren't good, but like 0, it's like, damn, like, I don't think every video has to be a hit. I'm not like some professional, but I got 0 so many times. I was like, okay, what the hell's going on here? They're not sharing my stuff. And then I get like 1 like, and I'd be like checking out who it is. And it'd be more like a stalker person or whatever. And I'd be like, that person, I'll get a hold of them and go, did you go on my page to do that? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, not a stalker person. One of my friends, I tease him. He's a stalker. He's not. And yes, I love Dixon too. Dixon's the one who got me started. Dixon and I were at one point extremely close friends. I love Dixon, but he's just so busy now that he's married. So he's really super busy and I totally get it. But I think I have an Instagram thing. Okay, I'm really lame with this. I have a LinkedIn account and I have Twitter. Don't know how to use Twitter. Can't figure it out. That's kind of me. And I have the YouTube. And then what I did was I can go into, I had somebody who doesn't go online at all I had them put their name in as a monitor. And so 2 of my groups I could save and go in as that person. Cool. Well, definitely. I haven't even looked at my LinkedIn in 10,000 years, like seriously. But anyway, I do have the Instagram thing. Don't exactly know how to use it too well. But I'll catch on. I'm not worthy. I'll catch on. But if you PM me, I'll just give you my number. Up above in the comments, I put the place that you can get a hold of me. And I think you know how to get a hold of me anyway. So, but thank you so much, everyone, for being here. This Friday, if you want to see this incredible abolitionist guy, I told you I didn't know anything about abolitionist people. I just never got into it because it's like, I never thought it was something like to be rewarded. It's like how you're supposed to be. But now that I look back and see how many sickos there are, it's like, dang. And this guy was an abolitionist and absolutely off the freaking charts. He died for it. He died younger. He didn't have to, but he did it. And he would be radical nowadays. So I can't imagine. I'm really excited. So that's going to be Friday. And hopefully it's only an hour. The guy that wrote the book, oh my God, he delved into everything. He delved into John Brown's life, and it was fascinating. So I want to say goodnight to everybody. If you're new, please consider subscribing and check out some of my old videos. I get a little nuts. Please homeschool your children and don't listen to these. Absolutely. Absolutely, Lakeisha. Everybody, it's all possible. I wish I could do more because I'm a teacher, or I was a teacher, a special ed teacher, and a regular ed. I would take your children if you are in a jam. I wish I could. I live totally remote, but it's like, please, if there's anything you can do not send your babies back. Think of the guilt that they'll feel if they get it and then give it to you and then somebody passes away. I can't even imagine. It's terrifying. Absolute homeschool. Do whatever you can do. As a teacher, oh God, of course. Yes. Absolutely. I have like 5 of them. Yeah, no. Yeah, I haven't actually left the house in 10 years now. Yeah, no. I know Niels and Glitter. Absolutely. No. All I can say is, and this is privilege talking, my daughter, over my dead body, is she going back? Good night, Ronald. Thank you for being here. And we have to catch up tomorrow and the next day. If you're trying to get a hold of me, and I've been so lame and so crazy, please get a hold of me like tomorrow or the next day, because those are like my days where I can like take a breath. And I really miss my friends because I've been really busy with homeschooling my little one and trying to crack down and taking care of everything. But I miss you guys. And anyone I can't get to, please know it's not personal. I'm just like, I can barely like shower, okay? So I'm just saying. But be safe out there. And if there's any way, don't send your children to school. I monitored China because the company I work for is in China. And they got this way, obviously, it came from their little village in Wuhan. And I saw what they did. And I'm not saying we have to have drones coming chasing people, but I got to tell you, every one of those kids and adults that I talk to, they're like, oh my God, we're so bored. We're so bored. We can't take this. We're stuck at home, especially the older boys, like 19, 20. They were like going stir crazy, and they cracked down. They closed that entire freaking country. And you know what? They did the right thing. And then when I saw what we're doing, greed over our children and our precious seniors and our middle-aged. Now anyway, I could go on and on. And I know it's a privilege to keep your kids home, but please don't do it. If you can at all, not do it. It's just my opinion. And the whole thing is, I actually did a video, to be honest with you, on because I was a teacher for so many years, and because I have the experience with my older kids, and a ton of experience with special ed kids and kids who have needed different ways of learning. Your child will be just fine. I promise. Skipping this in school, and maybe you can't educate them as well as you thought, they're going to be okay. But their love for themselves and their psychological health and it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Okay. That's just my opinion. Bored is better than organ damaged and dead. Yeah, I added the dead part. Yep, absolutely. And just think, they bring it home to you. So we have someone in our home who's immunodepressed. Not sad, but their immunity's low because of a disorder they have. And if they get it, there's obviously much more likely chance that they would not make it. And I choose life. I'm just trying to say, as a teacher, there's a rare circumstance where missing a couple more months, it's not going to do anything. You'll be fine. And I do not say that lightly, because I'm really, I kind of learned that the hard way, I guess you could say. So if you're not sure and you're wondering, call me. I'll tell you a story that'll straighten you out right away. Okay. So sadly, I have had some experience with this. All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you next week, or hopefully if you can watch this thing with me on Friday. I am so excited. This guy, I feel bad that he got killed, but if you're going to die, there's nothing in my mind more important than not dying in vain. I don't think anyone wants to die unless they're suicidal and they're having a really rough time with depression. But if you have to die, that is a damn good reason, in my opinion. So anyway, don't get me all mushy, right? Good night, everybody. Sweet dreams. Thanks for being here. Come on Friday at 9. I'll send out invites if you're not too busy. All right. Bye, everybody. Watch my crazy videos and check out those videos on the hearings. I put 4 up. These people, they say Democrats are just as bad. Not these people. They were amazing. They were kicking ass. So, all right. Bye, everybody.